Judge Chief, I thought there was only 2, but I guess there's 3.
Everybody has problems with that page. Well, I know that person sounded like my hand did or whatever. Eagle Creek. Find somebody else.
Okay.
Right by the reservoir.
Yep.
Really?
He lives right off the reservoir.
Would it be okay if I get with the county just to make sure? I'll get with the county.
Beautiful little area right there.
Who sent
He's got
that
the
there?
airport kind of beside him there and the reservoir.
Did we do that last year? All of those last year?
Colt's training facility is like right around the corner.
So those other 4 ones we did last year.
He's got a condo up there. Position to walk to.
Okay.
Those are done every year, right?
Yeah, they have to expire.
All right.
We should be fine, but I'll get with the county, and we'll definitely pass it next time. And if it requires passage before then, we'll call a work session. So we'll take care of it.
Okay, welcome everybody. Coming out in the snow, but not too bad out today, 42 degrees or so. Okay, I'd like to call to order the City of Lawrenceburg Board of Works meeting for January 22nd, 2019, with a roll call, please.
Board of Works member Paul Seymour Jr.
Here.
Board member Alan Calloway. Police Chief Don Combs. Here. Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine. Here. EMS Director Bobby Mills. Here. City Attorney Del Weldon. Here. City Coordinator Brian Messmore. Here. Utility Director Olin Clausen. Present. President Kelly Milan.
Here.
And myself.
Okay. Any announcements for this meeting? You guys got anything? I don't either. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion will carry. Committee reports, Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine.
All I got tonight for the board is everybody should have a copy of the year-end report. It's a requirement that I present the activity for the fire department for the year. So it's a requirement here and also with the township. So the township will get the same report. And it's our run log, and we threw in some inspection data. Everything comes out of our computer software, everything generated in this. So if you have any questions, review it and get with me.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Chief? If not, Police Chief Donnie Combs.
Thank you, Mayor. Approachable tonight. I am short now one of my officers, and I'd like to be approved tonight to replace him from our last pool hiring. Tonight, one of the officers had switched and moved over to Silver City, so now I am shorthanded on that. So I have a person in mind from our last pool. All right. So if you don't mind, I'd get approval to accept them tonight.
You guys know the situation. This was, we had posted a bid for the caretaker in Civil City, and the successful bidder was one of his officers.
Caretaker of the parks,
Yes.
not the one I'm thinking about.
I don't know. Can't read your mind right now.
Well, Mr. Lanning.
Oh, no. No, this is, we posted the caretaker position
Right.
as part of an agreement with the union. We posted that, the maintenance foreman, and the diesel mechanic. And then out of the bids, I don't know, a couple people bid on it from Civil City, but turned it down. The next successful bidder was Mr. Houston at the police department. So that's where he's coming from. I'm not real fond of it either.
But it happened. How did it happen without Board of Works
Well,
knowing?
it's not about knowing it.
Oh.
It's just a posting, internal posting. People can sign it. It goes by the seniority if all other qualifications are equal. That's the way it's written.
How is it that, and I don't have anything against any anybody here, but how is it that we can train police officers and firefighters and they can transfer to Civil City, but we can't transfer to those departments? And better yet, we have all this time in them, and I don't like it. So I
We're in agreement.
guess I don't, if I vote, I'm gonna show
Right now,
my-
the way, let me just explain it.
Okay.
I think we all agree, okay? But until the contract renewal, we cannot change that language, all right? The language reads right now that they're able to do that. Has been that way for years. So we're bound by the contract right now. But I agree with everything you're saying. I think a lot of people in the city agree, but that's just the way it is right now. We can't do anything about it.
So you're looking for a motion? Or does it just happen?
Well, it's happened. I mean, he's going to be moved because per contract has to be moved. We're not moving him until March.
Yeah, there's a date right now, March 4th.
March
until we
4th?
Get the other guy in to get settled.
I agree, though, Paul. You have all this money invested in a police officer or a fireman or EMS person, and they have the ability to bid to other parts of the city. I don't
Does
agree.
it have
with that.
anything, will it have any effect on us hiring?
No.
I mean, here's how I look at this. I mean, I'm trying to get new blood and do this for Civil City. We got a lot of things that need to be worked on, and I just been trying to hire the best that we can to get some skills and to do some things. And now, Donnie, you get a hire and I don't.
I'm replacing. That's what I'm
Well, I
doing
know,
tonight. Yeah.
but if, I don't like it.
Because it wasn't a laborer's position, it was a caretaker's position. It's already in a contract as a bid job. That's the reason that it has to go through the internal posting scenario.
All right.
You understand your resident, Paul, on that. We do train and all that. I don't like it either, but
Okay.
what's done is done. He's been moved over, and I'm just asking tonight to replace him with the guy I have in mind.
And by the way, we discussed this with the union, and I mean, it's in the
I would have sure liked to have been there.
Well, you can express your, but it's in black and white, so we can't do much about it right there.
Can I go ahead and tell you his name if you make
Sure.
a motion?
Well, names don't mean nothing to me. I'm all right with that. I understand what you're doing. I don't want anybody in here thinking that I got something against somebody personally, because I don't. It's just, I just don't like it. And ask remind me here, what's your one night? Now I'm sidetracked.
I want to get approval from the board to replace Houston so I can have a full staff.
I'll make a motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. All right. Thank you.
Mayor, the only other thing I have for the board is that we did have an accident Saturday night during that storm blizzard that we had. One of our officers was front end collision head on up on a little hill. He's doing fine. Everybody's fine. As far as I know, at this point, our car probably will be totaled, but hopefully the other insurance will be taking care of it. That's been established that it's their fault, so I'll keep you updated on that.
Have we found out if the person had insurance?
No, I'm still looking into that.
All right.
We'll know something by tomorrow. That's all I
Okay.
have, Mayor. Thank you.
All right. EMS Director Bobby Mills.
Yeah, Mayor, the only thing I got is I'd like to inform the board that March 28th is my last day.
Bittersweet, isn't it, Bobby?
Well, yes and no. job. I love working with everyone. I love helping people. I love trying to save someone's life, and it's tough to leave, but I'm hoping there's another chapter in my life somewhere at the end of this ride. So,
Well, we love you, man.
Catching things at the bottom of the lake.
probably I'll be one. I hope it ain't me at the bottom. But that's my intention. It's been a fun ride. I say I'm going away, I'm not going away mad. So, things don't work out. I can always be called out of retirement. People get it all the time.
Bobby's had this
At least give me
conversation for a
couple
long
months
time.
to try it out.
Yeah.
But that's what my intentions are. Sure that maybe someone might come along, have a better idea what I've got, but it's worked so far, so it's been good.
You've done great things with that department to what it is today. But Bobby and I have had a lot of discussion about this over the last year, I guess. And all I ever told him, I said, just please give me enough time to be able to fill your position, and being able to get them trained under you and such. There's been I know we're going to have 2 paramedics retiring in March as well.
End of February.
Or end of February, 1st of March, yes. So we'll be coming to you guys about posting those very soon. In light of Bobby's decision to retire, I am going to recommend the appointment of Pat Myers to EMS director. Pat and I have spoken about this. Pat and Bobby, I believe, have spoken about this. Pat and Johnny, and Johnny and Bobby and Pat have all spoken about this. So I'd like to recommend Pat Myers to the appointment of EMS director, effective, it'll be January 28th, in order to be able to shadow Bobby for the next month or so. Any questions about that, guys, from you guys? If not, I'd like to get that in the form of a motion, if you could, to approve the appointment of Pat Myers, although it's my appointment, but I'd like to get it for the record. Second.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Pat. Amy, I don't know what you're going to do with him, having him home sometimes at night, but well, don't call me. Thanks again, Bobby. We'll do something a little more formal later. You know that. So.
I got a question, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Kind of in line with this, if we've got a couple paramedics retiring and it's coming up pretty quick, do we have a hiring process that's going to start anytime soon? Qualifications, looks? We're going to have any kind of it seems like that's the kind of job to where we don't want it vacant.
Right. We're doing actually, Bobby is going to be working directly with Jenny on the job description. Correct, Bobby? And that should be happening like ASAP. Okay. And then we'll get those posted, and they'll wherever you post it externally. I think it may have to be posted internal first.
I'll be posted in the city.
But I don't know if anyone in the city is qualified with the qualifications that are needed. And then it will go external, and similar to what we do with the diesel mechanic, Paul.
Okay.
So, in light of that, there will also be a fireman that'll be hired, because Pat moving over leaves a full-time fire, so the same thing.
Okay.
So, not adding to, just filling the spots.
Say 6 more? Is that what you said?
Excuse me? I expected that out of you, Chief, but thanks. All right, new business, Mr. Weldon. It looks like you got one that's on here, and I think we got one that's been handed out tonight that we had to get approved.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. If it pleases the Board of Public Works and Safety, the first item I'd like to present for consideration is the interlocal agreement between the City of Lawrenceburg and Lawrenceburg Township for the service of fire protection. This would be a one-year interlocal agreement whereby the City of Lawrenceburg's Lawrenceburg Fire Department would provide fire protection services for the township. The agreement on its first page lays out the general recitals, and then the specific agreement follows. The township will pay $25,000 with payments divided up in 2 installments, and the exact territory and the specific duties are delineated per Chief Tremaine's requirements, and he helped me draft this using the specific language that will set out where we're providing services. This has actually already been approved by the Lawrenceburg Township Trustee Advisory Committee, so they approve, and just looking for an approval by the Board of Works.
Okay. Any questions on that, guys? Same interlocal we have every year.
I think we got a raise.
It is more, yes, sir.
Yeah. Good job. Any questions?
Nope.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the interlocal agreement with Lawrenceburg Township for the service of fire protection.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry.
Thank you very much.
Get the next one.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. The second agreement that is being presented for approval by the Board of Public Works and Safety is an agreement for emergency medical services. This is our agreement with the county whereby we pay them to provide 911 services to us, and the county obviously provides dispatch for various entities, including our own. This is another one-year agreement. This requires us to make a payment to them, so I'll also be bringing this up in council.
This is not the right one.
This is not the right one? Okay.
This is an EMS, the EMS agreement. This isn't for 911.
Okay.
The only one I've got is EMS.
Yeah, the 911 has a specified amount of $60,000 that we pay them every year.
Okay.
We'll have to get that at the next.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
So we can do this. We can do the emergency rescue. Bobby, you've seen this, right? This is the one that,
Dale,
Yes, sir.
this is, you should have 2 agreements, right?
Okay.
One for riverboat revenue sharing, and the other one is for the actual contract, the 20,000 per unit times 2, which is 40,000.
we've got the revenue sharing agreement in front of us. That's one we're going to approve tonight. The one you're talking about.
That's
and
one, and then
The 911 will have to be done at the next meeting.
not 911, this is,
No, the 911 that we were talking about, the interlocal with the 911 dispatch, that's a separate one. That's not yours. I'm talking about the one that you said, the 20,000 per unit that we do every year. That'll have to be done at the next meeting. We don't have that one in front of us.
So is this the same one, Chief Tremaine, that you're talking about? Okay.
Yeah, one will be for the EMS and one will be for the fire on the revenue share.
So there'll be these 2 and the 911, so there's actually 3.
911, and then you've got Bobby's other one.
Okay. That's 100% my fault, and I apologize. I was confused as to.
There was like 4 of them there, I think.
There will
Okay.
be two for EMS, correct, Bobby? And then we've got the 911, the 911 to do,
Okay.
And one fire.
and the one fire on the distribution.
Is it okay with you guys and the Board of Works if I get with the county just to make sure? This is the only one that I got from the county, but I know that you guys had the other ones. I just want to make sure we don't miss anything.
I just forwarded it to you in your email.
All right, thank you. So if we could table this as well, I'd like to approve them all at once, if that's okay, Your Honor.
Well, it's not on the agenda for tonight anyway, so we've got no need to table it. We'll just put it on the agenda for next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Under old business, Johnny Tremaine, you got the fire truck bid?
Yep. I passed out a spreadsheet. We went spent a lot of hours on this, overthinking it, and finally we got it figured out. Our recommendation tonight is to move forward and purchase the Marion fire apparatus through Hoosier Fire. Its bid price was $489,532. They conformed to the spec really, really close, so we're happy with that one. And I would recommend we go with Marion. Just a little side note, there is a performance bond we would need to purchase, but also there is a pre-manufactured discount if we go ahead and pay for it up front. It'll save us, after the performance bond, it'll save us $4,000. So that's totally up to you guys, which would put it at $485,000, $490,000.
This was what had resulted out of the switch that you opened up the last meeting, correct?
Yeah. Guys did a lot of reading, I did a lot of reading, and this conformed to our specifications.
Can you explain that performance bond to me?
Well, it's something that during the bid process, it's just a bond that guarantees a satisfactory completion. The way I get it, and Mike's not here to help, but, you know, it guarantees that that everything guarantees us.
It's a performance bond that's offered by them,
Yeah.
Right. It's
saying that they're going to.
It's something that we'll purchase, and what that'll do is that'll kind of protect our investment so that we know that we're going to receive that. Barring that if they had, say they had a walkout on their employees, we do it with every truck we buy. They had a walkout on their employees, and it was going to be guaranteed that if we did prepay, we would get our money back. Trucks, we wouldn't be obligated for 2 years. So we've done it. We've done it in the past on every truck that we had. My dad sold fire trucks. We never sold that one. That was just for the sake of it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Paul, Mudge? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the fire truck bid from Marion for $485,490.
So move.
Second? Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion will carry.
Thank you.
Any other old business for this group? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims. Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion will carry. I'd like to call to order the City of Lawrenceburg Council meeting as soon as we're seated for January 22nd, 2019. Everybody rise. Pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, could I get a roll call, please?
Councilperson Tony Abbott.
Here.
Councilperson Aaron Cook.
Here.
Councilperson Mel Davis.
Here.
Councilperson Randy Abner.
Here.
Councilperson Paul Seymour Jr.
Here.
Police Chief Don Combs. Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine.
Here.
EMS Director Bobby Mills. City Attorney Del Weldon. City Coordinator Brian Messmore. City Court Judge Joe Johns.
Present.
Mayor Kelly Milan.
Here.
And myself.
Announcements, board reports, streets, alleys, and curbs. Mr. Cook?
I have two things, Mayor. One is just a general announcement. I had 2 texts and a call asking why the flags weren't put up for MLK Day.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering what the answer was to that.
I wasn't aware we had flags.
Okay.
I don't know that we do, unless somebody. So do we have them? Jamie?
They said they used to be put up. They haven't been put up the past few years.
Oh, I didn't know anything about those. I had contacted Reverend Rocks a couple weeks ago, and I believe Chief Combs did too, seeing if there was going to be an event that they always put on every year, and they said they were not going to be putting it on this year.
Okay. And then on the streets, alleys, and curbs, at the last meeting I brought up the softball-sized holes at the corner of West Tate and Cook Lane. Someone put asphalt over them, but like the next day, the asphalt was already fallen down into the hole, so the holes were back again.
Okay.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Mayor, where's that at? I'm sorry.
Right at the corner of West Tate and Cook Lane, but on the opposite side of the street, right there where you take a, if you're coming from here, where you take a right into like the ice rink parking lot.
My mom's fence
Yes,
there?
right there on the corner, right there by the stop sign.
Yeah, we'll probably
There's like 3 of them there.
Probably gonna take concrete. I'd say it's a drain pipe, probably.
Okay.
Shotgun.
I'd like to add to that, there's one behind Mr. Waltz's house. I think it's either the storm sewer or the sewer
In the alleyway.
in the alleyway, the same way as the one that was behind my house. This one's even bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brad, did we ever get that camera yet?
It's ordered.
So okay.
It's en route, I think, probably here in the next week or so.
Okay. Anything else under streets, alleys, and curbs?
That's it, Mayor.
Here. Finance, Mr. Abbott.
We're good.
Parks and playgrounds, Mr. Seymour.
Yeah, I got something small. I talked to Tony Eccles from Strand this morning, putting together the bids on the demo project. And at the top, we know we got a problem on that concrete area. And his question to me was, is it important for us to keep that open for pedestrian traffic while that work is going on to get that other 200 yards, or can we make it much safer and close that area off?
Well, my opinion, please feel free to speak up, but I think it'd be okay. I'd rather see it closed off because I think they're going to need that area to ensure the safety. And you're only talking, I didn't know if it was 200 yards, but.
It's probably that or a little bit more, I'm not sure, but it's just that East High Street area.
Right.
So,
I don't know how you guys feel about, where we're talking about where the amphitheater is, that it's going to be torn out this spring?
there's a lot of settlement at the top, and we want to look into it to see if we have any problems or not. And we have to do something with the top anyhow, and if we take that all out, it's going to be a nightmare to keep the people safe. And we're only going from the doctors, Partners in Health on up to the floodgate anyhow. So you're not losing out on that much as far as a walking trail goes.
Most people always head west anyway.
Let's just close it. Okay.
For a safety issue.
Is all in agreement with that? Okay, close it.
All right, that's all I got.
All righty. Fire, Mr. Abner?
No report.
No report? All right. If no other announcements, entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion will carry. Committee reports, Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine.
All I have is, council should have a copy of the year-end report. Please review it. If you have any questions, give me a call.
Thank you. Police Chief Donnie Combs.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to let you know, the council, that we are hosting a K-9 legal update February 28th at the police department from 1 to 3. We're going to have like 10 teams down here. There's going to be a lieutenant down here from the Indiana State legal advisor to go over scenarios and all that. So there'll be about 10 dogs down here on February 28th. And also, I talked with the family of Tom Cochran. I talked with Joni the other day. And we are going to have his a remembrance gathering at the gravesite this Friday at 3:45. Everyone's invited. We do this every year. We just go down to the gravesite and have a remembrance gathering for Tom.
3:45?
3:45 on Friday.
Okay.
That's all I have, Mayor.
All right. EMS Director Bobby Mills?
Now, Mayor, we mentioned about retirements, Sue and Wes is leaving.
Yes. We're missing out on a lot of knowledge and, I mean, how long they each been here, Bobby?
I would say we, between the three of us, there's over 100 years of service going out to
Yeah.
work one time. So.
It's a lot.
Taking count, we wasn't just paid employees at one time. We were volunteer for
Sure.
many years before we became paid.
Yep.
A lot of service years there, even on a volunteer basis.
Yep.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Okay, City Court, Judge
yes.
Jones.
Thank you. We've completed our 2018 statutorily required reporting. So for the year 2018, we closed with 2,860 cases and a total amount received through collections and judgments of $432,414.83. Of that, $165,960.09 was distributed to the city of Lawrenceburg. $92,238.20 was distributed to the county, and $174,216.54 was distributed to the state. As of this year, up to January 22nd, we have 168 cases filed in the Lawrenceburg City Court. We have
Many?
168 cases filed up to date. So we haven't run any reporting as of yet on the financials for this month, but I'll have those available next month.
Okay. Thank you. All right, under new business, the only thing I have is, Dale, I think you've got one on property taxes on a piece of property that we...
Yes, sir, Your Honor. It would be a payment in advance for share sale, which occurs on Thursday, so we just asked to approve the payment of those. There are
Property
5 checks that need to be paid out, 5 different checks, and the total is $23,966.66. Brittany has the checks prepared if they're approved tonight. So this would be for a share sale for the property on High Street. That occurs Thursday.
Okay. Any
On High
questions?
Street, on High Street, you said?
Yes, sir.
Is that for all 3 parcels?
Well, what we thought, so there are different ways to break down the tracks. We broke them down into 4 tracks based on the advice of the county and the company that conducts the sheriff's sale. And so we kept it as 4 separate tracks rather than combine them. And so this would pay up the property taxes that are due. And then once that purchase is made, then that property would become titled to the city.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. What property is this?
So this is the Davis Holdings property. This is up for sheriff's sale on Thursday, and I've got copies. Let me just pass these out. Might be the best way to do it. So these are the property tract listings, and then the claims on the back. It's because it's a payment in advance. That's why I need special approval.
When does this become our property?
Thursday. Yep, so that's the very last step.
The rent that's coming in from this property now, where is that going?
So early on, we're able to have the court order a receiver. A receiver is a third party that does the property management, takes care of the leases, takes care of maintenance, and also collects the rent. So all of that money is in a separate account. we're going to do a final accounting, which I'll present to everyone to show what came in, what went out, what's left over, and the main goal of the city moving forward through redevelopment is to determine what the next steps are for that property. So we'll own that property. We'll take in the money that was collected during the bankruptcy and the foreclosure, and the lease is that's coming in. After that, will be collected by the city, and then we'll have to determine what the best way to manage those properties would be.
So why can this not be paid out of the money collected from the rent and lease?
It could be, but that money is being held by the court. So a receiver doesn't for us, they technically work for the court, and the money is being held not for us or for Davis Properties. It's being held separately.
But I would think that that's what that money would be used for that property. Why it wouldn't be paid out of that account?
And I think it's because paying the property tax is an obligation that we would have, where the account is not going to be released to us until after the sale. So we wouldn't actually get that money until after the sale. This property tax would have to be paid at the sale.
I don't understand that. I mean, if there's something breaks down those buildings, the money out of that account pays for that, right?
Yes.
So this is the property taxes for those buildings. I would think you could use that money to pay these property taxes.
Well, and technically the money the property still belongs to Davis Holdings. The money from the rent that's been coming in still belongs to them. It's just held by the receiver, and once a foreclosure is finalized on Thursday, then the money would be released to us. So it's not our money yet.
So it would be Davis Holdings property taxes, though, if it's not our property yet.
But we can't buy the property.
In order for us to
unless
get it
it's
through the
paid.
sheriff's sale, we got to clear up the taxes, the
Yeah.
tax lien. That's with any sheriff's sale.
Okay, I would still think it could be paid out of that account from the money received from it, but.
I see what you're saying. It's just it can't work that way.
Yeah.
But that would be
We'll have it
fair,
the following day, but, or whenever that money gets turned back over to us, but.
I would like to see a full accounting of it, everything that's been paid out for the repairs or whatever, breakdowns on that property and
Yep.
where that money's going to. Because I've been on redevelopment for a while, and I've never seen one report on it yet.
Yep, you'll have a full accounting. We're actually going to have our accountant double check the receiver's numbers. The sheriff's sale is 1:30 p.m. this Thursday, the 24th. Everyone's invited to attend. It's at the county building in the commissioner's room.
When it's back in our hands, do we still have to use a receiver?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we need to figure out going forward. Who will fill those duties, managing the property, doing general maintenance. We're having a meeting on that Thursday. We can definitely handle that in the short term, but the long term is to figure out what's the best use for that property.
Mr. Milan, if you would do me a favor and get with Greendale, they have a Greendale Housing Authority that takes care of their property. They've had it for years and it seems to work fine. I mean, they could take care of this property, they could take care of this senior home over there, any of the property that we have.
Well, I think there's a lot of options that we could look at. I agree. I mean, I don't think that's off the table at all, but I think there's a few options we could take a look at and see what's best for us going forward. We can do that.
All right.
Okay. All right, so I need any other questions regarding that? I need a motion then to pay those taxes. The amount of $23,966.66.
I guess I'll make a motion that we pay this within lieu of when we get the money from the receiver, we can pay whatever back to the city.
It comes to back to us
Right.
anyway.
We'll pay ourselves back on
Yes.
this, or whatever's been taken to take care of that.
No problem. Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Cool. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Tony Abbott.
Aye.
Councilperson Aaron Cook.
Aye.
Councilperson Mel Davis.
Abstain.
Councilperson Randy Abner.
Aye.
Councilperson Paul Seymour Jr.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 401. Okay, I don't have anything else under new business. Anyone here?
Your Honor, I'd like to look into maybe Years ago, they used to have a four-wheeler with a snowplow. They did sidewalks. Mayor Tremaine, they used to do it every time it snowed. There's a lot of scooters in this town, a lot of elderly people and handicapped people with scooters, and they're just not able to get out of their houses because a lot of people don't do their sidewalks. I was wondering if we could purchase one little snow plow, and start doing some sidewalks if necessary.
I'll check into that and make sure we don't have something like that first.
Somebody did the park.
We used to have one, but I haven't seen it in a long time.
Somebody did the park. I don't know what they used up there. The Newtown Park. I see that.
We've got a couple of the side-by-sides with the plow.
That's what did that.
Yeah. I think he used a Kawasaki mule.
Yeah, we can probably do the same thing with.
There's a lot of scooters going around, and they're just snowed in. They're not able to get out.
But how do you know? I mean, without doing every street, how would you know which one?
Got the time to do every street.
Oh. Whew. Okay.
Just takes one guy.
Uh huh. And the next call you get is, hey, they didn't get over to my property quick enough, and
I don't care as long as we get these handicapped and elderly people back on their scooters. I got one guy over on Elm Street. He can't go nowhere.
did you go shovel him out?
I sure did.
Good for
I
you.
sure
You're a
did.
fine man.
So,
I didn't think you wouldn't. No, we'll look at that.
all right.
Anything else under new business? Old business, Maxwell Construction, update on the park?
Thanks. Good evening. I'm Dale Sehorst with Maxwell Construction. I'm the project manager for the Civic Park project. Just a little update from previous month. What we've completed, the restroom exterior masonry has finally been completed. The splash pad underground work has all been completed. We finally got the final storm drain piping laid in last week. And let's see, the specialty concrete for the north end of the park, we're pretty much complete on the north end. Maybe we've got like one pour left. Weather here this month is really starting to affect the concrete pouring. Kind of expected this time of year, January, February, so just have to adjust schedule a little bit and work on some other things. Overall schedule, we're still fine with our April 30th, and we are still under budget, or on budget, I should say. Other than that, everything's been going pretty good, all things considered.
Any questions for Dale?
Yep.
Can you give us an update on the stage metal?
Yes, it's actually coming in a little sooner than expected. It's supposed to be on site week of February 4th or 5th. I don't remember which day it is, and if weather holds, we should be having it installed within a week to 10 days.
I noticed they had a 10 up last week working.
Yeah, the mason's been working under a tent with heat, or even when it's been raining. He's been able to work on a stage. He's starting to do the facade around on the stage. Been looking good.
I've seen people over there about every day, no matter what the weather was.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than I think yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a little tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been
Go out there working in pouring rain and everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Thank you for
All
keeping
right.
us updated, but thank you for keeping it on time and on budget.
Thank you.
Any questions? Any more questions about that? The only other I've got under old business stems from our meeting we had last Tuesday when we presentation by there's a combination between health and St. E's. We are partnering to start a cancer center here in the area. They are approaching all municipalities, any funding can to help get the project off the ground. Some of the
key points that I remember
from memory
is Kentucky ranked 50th in the nation in cases.
Indiana was 42nd, and Ohio was 40th, which struck me. In fact, they also said that the biggest cause in this area of
cancer surpassed
heart disease. To me, that's shocking. But what this cancer center is going to do is, whenever we think about that kind of stuff, we think automatically about chemo, radiation, things like that. But even more so, they're going to offer folks the pre-screening before it gets to be a stage 3 or a stage 4.
They can catch it
when it's precancerous.
Or they can catch it stage 1 or even stage 2 where it's 100% cure. Presentation that they had,
we've got some copies.
Or we can
get people
all the
councils
copies now. But what they did is they came and asked if we would be willing to help
fund this over a period of years.
I think
it just
was a meeting work
session. Everybody was invited. The gist council that was here that night was, hey, we'd like to help. Try to figure out how we can do that without, number one, increasing the budget, number two, increasing property tax, or anything like that. I think we've found a way that we can do that within our current budget scenario. I'd just like to hear what you guys have to say about funding the ask that they're looking for, or not, or what other ideas you might have.
Well, the one thing that they really pointed out too, that when these patients have to have this done, chemo or radiation, it's so hard on the family traveling. And this would be right here. Miss Canoe, you've gone through it, and you're a survivor of it. It's fantastic. Would it have been a lot easier if you didn't have to drive everywhere when you're doing that? So that's one of the reasons why I'm for all this. Plus the pre-screening that we'll have here. It's going to be right here in our neighborhood.
Okay. Anyone else?
What was the amount of funding there?
Their ask was $5 million to be funded over a period of either 5 to 10 years. And it's at our discretion.
Isn't the whole thing
$30 million project?
They're asking us for 5.
They're looking at 130 jobs, and those will obviously be pretty high-paying jobs in that department. But that was the ask. I have no idea who all they've entertained or talked to yet. I know they were going to talk to Greendale. They were talking to the county, all of your obvious funding partners. That's really about all I know about it. I mean, other than what you heard that night in the presentation.
So, what kind of scheme did you come up with to pay $5 million without taking it out of the cash drawer?
We've got some money that we've had sitting in the bond bank that is getting paid back every year by different governmental agencies and municipalities that owed us money through loans over the past few years that have been made, and that money just goes into this fund. Okay. So we're thinking if we could take maybe half of that, $2.5 million out of that fund, and then over the next 5 years, depends how much you guys want to go. That's the piece that you guys got to decide. If you want to fund any part of it, be a partner in this, you have to decide how much you want to go. If it's $5 million, then the other $2.5 million would come out over the next 5 or 10 years, however you want to set it up.
I'd like you guys to think about, you know, we spend $400,000 or $500,000 a year on a party that lasts 3 days in Lawrenceburg. I personally think that we ought to step up to the plate for about $750 a year for 10 years until Mr. Richardson figure it out. I think that there's nothing more than we could do in this town to invest money in our hospital for our people.
E.G. McLaughlin's
one
going
of
to
the best
hug you and kiss you.
I think one of the best things about this is, and you guys kind of hit on it, but this is an opportunity that's going to give cancer patients a continuum of care, start to finish treatment to deal with their cancer. And I can't think of anything, I agree with Paul, I can't think of anything that would be better for our community than that. We're talking about 130 high-paying jobs. And I think Mr. Ritzman said it best when he was here and gave his presentation. He said this is not necessarily a financially, something you would think of as a financial return, but this is an investment in the health of your community. And that says a lot.
Well, and well put. I think if you probably did a poll of everybody in this room, there's not been one person in this room who probably hadn't been affected by it. And that's sad to say, but it's reality for what we live with around here. So I mean, their facts and their figures sort of hold true, right? Mm-hmm. That's what stuck with me after that presentation. Listen, here's what I think we could do if we could get a $2.5 million payment to them, and then fund the rest of it out of our budget for the next, so what, 5 to 10 years, however you guys want to set that up. We just need to know an amount. We currently send $1 million a year down to Community Foundation to grant out to the surrounding area, to Dearborn County. I have to go down and look at the numbers. They obviously, I don't believe they're granting out that full $1 million every year. Some years they have, most years they haven't. But what happens, that extra money in that, it stays in the account in case if there's some times when we can't fund it, they still have money there and able to help the nonprofits or whoever's been putting in for that. If you guys remember when AEP power plant sold to Lightstone, one of the things AEP had with us was a long-term grant program. They committed $200,000 a year to us, $100,000 in June, $100,000 in November, and the clerk treasurer's office and my office, and it was a small committee, would then grant out these for the small nonprofits. Well, new ownership came in and it dried up. They weren't interested in doing that. So these nonprofits, they go other places, which they head to the Community Foundation, and that's fine. That's what it's set up for. But I think there's some room there that we might be able to, deduct for X number of years, because and it won't hurt anything that's going on in the community. It doesn't increase to the budget. I'm not asking to do that. I'm asking this, we can do this within our current budget scenario. I just need to know what you guys, how much you want to invest.
I'd like to make a motion that we invest the $5 million requested over the scenario that you and Richard have presented.
Okay. Anybody else? I'll entertain a second then.
I'll second the motion if you bring back to us exactly how it's going to be done.
Sure.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm opposed, and can I say why?
Yes.
I want it to be 7.5. But like I said, guys, we spend $500,000 a year on a party. I don't see no reason why we couldn't step it up to the plate and do a little bit better than what they asked. I was personally shocked that they only asked for $5 million.
Well,
West
if you could do the 5 million in 5 years instead of 10, they'll be very happy.
Well,
They can always come back as well if they're having funding issues. But I know that they really wanted a buy-in from the community as a whole. So I know, I think somebody mentioned it, E.G. McLaughlin is personally investing some of his own money in this project. There's several other community members that are doing the same thing.
This was a good point to start. I mean, this is what they're asking for, and like I said, if we do it within 5, Bill Richmond and E.G. said that they would just love that. Instead of 10.
So if we invest the $5 million over a 5-year period,
well, I'm happy. I just want it to be more. So I just want everybody to understand why. You know,
Let's get a roll call.
let's get a roll call.
Councilperson Tony Abbott,
Aye.
Councilperson Aaron Cook,
Aye.
Councilperson Mel Davis,
Aye.
Councilperson Randy Abner,
Aye.
Councilperson Paul Seymour Jr.
No.
That motion passes 4 to 1.5.
That's a good way to put it.
No,
Could
no,
we-
Mayor. Yes, I'm sorry.
Could we go with the 5? Could we send a letter that if they run into a problem, come back to us and we'll talk again?
Well, I mean, yeah, we can. I mean, but I think that's pretty much a known
Well, they'll do that anyway. We
known
know
thing
that.
around
Right.
these parts.
But, you know,
But
does that help you a little bit?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good.
okay, well, thank you. I will let them know. Any other old business?
Oh, I've got.
Go ahead, sir.
I was going to bring up earlier, George Street Park restrooms.
Yes.
I've been told by a few people over there that they're it's nasty. So can we get somebody over there to clean them? I know a guy who goes over there every morning to smoke a cigarette because he can't smoke in his house, and he said they're just nasty.
Well, how better yet, we'll find out why they haven't been cleaned.
I walked in there one time, there was a girl laying in there asleep. I thought they were locked at night.
Well,
Well-
Tony, they kind of block the doors, and I've been going over there since I've been building my house, and they've been going over there cleaning, but I think we got some homeless that are in there, and it happens every day. If them guys are cleaning, but it's a daily occurrance.
Got a few parks.
It happens, but and they're
We'll check on it, though, Tony.
Yeah. I'm not going against the homeless. If it's a warm place for them to sleep, I let them sleep there. I don't have a problem with that.
I think they're the ones that's leaving the messes too.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I would like to thank Mr. Mills and congratulate Mr. Myers. Got some big shoes to fill, buddy. Bob has done a great job. I remember when the EMS were volunteers, more or less, didn't get paid, maybe $5 or $10 a run, something like that, Bob. And finally, they got to be part of the city and got the enjoyment of some of the benefits that the city has. But Bob has done a great job, in my opinion. I've never had to use his services, but I know people that have. But congratulations, Bob. Now, retirement, Bob, is you figure out that every day is either Monday or Friday. The football games are on Sunday, so you know when those are. But the rest of the days all blend in together. But have a good time.
I'd like to say something too about the, Mel hit on that. There used to be volunteer life squad service here. And bless the volunteers, but they weren't there all the time, were they? You'd have to ring for them. I waited. My son was a diabetic. He had a diabetic seizure. And the school principal ended up picking him up, throwing him in his van, taking him up to the hospital because we couldn't get a life squad there. And this was with Mayor Tremaine. We met with Bob and said, the volunteer days are going to be over in Lawrenceburg. We have to have paid EMTs here. And that man there worked on that worked on this project, and that's why we have the paid EMTs now. He worked really hard, stepped up the program, stepped it up through the years to where it's at now. And if you need a life squad now in Lawrenceburg, they're there.
Get the best service in southeastern Indiana, I'd say, if not farther than that.
Listen, we went over and did the career day this past week over to middle school. Myself, Chief Tremaine, and Pat were all over there presenting. And I'll tell you, one of the things that you realize when you're from this city is we tend to take some things for granted, right? But we are so fortunate to have full-time fire, police, and EMS in a city our size. So fortunate. And the thing is I believe the community really appreciates that. I think we're all just, we get used to something, When we make that call, 911 call, somebody's at your front door pretty darn quick. And wasn't always like that, right? I mean, other than police officer would show up first and start doing what they needed to do. But if you had a fire, you were waiting a little longer, right, Chief? And same with you, Bobby. And we're fortunate.
Mayor, if it
Good
wasn't,
point, Tony.
Mayor, if it wasn't for our local distillery, during the day we wouldn't get a truck out. I remember those days.
Yeah.
I remember Pat, 17 years young, coming to join the fire department. I remember those days.
He's been with them, 3 years?
Yeah, 3 whole years. So really, Mayor, when you're sitting here looking at it, Pat, Bobby, and Johnny, it's all been volunteers before they become a paid guy. So their heart's in it.
Exactly. In it for the right reasons. Okay, that's all the old business I have. I'll entertain comments from the audience. Anyone? Okay, if not, we've got, we're calling this an advance claim, I guess.
It's not an advance, it's payment we got a payment for the Dearborn Adult Center Public Facilities Grant.
Yeah.
Currently, we need an approval for $7,653.75 for that.
Can I get a motion to accept that?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I must say one other thing. We just found out that we received the community center grant that Judy and we had applied for here at the city. And she was like, she couldn't tell. It was embargoed, so she wasn't allowed to tell for like 6 hours or something. And I thought maybe she had to, I don't know. But anyway, she was really excited. We're excited because I'll be honest with you, we just got that grant for the adult center last year, and then turn around the following year to get it for the community center was pretty impressive. So,
And the totals on that, there were 18 cities or grant possibilities. 5. Only 5 were selected. We were one of those 5.
Yeah. So that's good stuff. Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion then to approve the claims.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry, and a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion will carry. Thanks, everybody. Be safe. Walking out of here.
All right.
Good meeting.
Yep. Try to stay warm.
And it's funny because
Doing good. Well, not getting around. No?
there's a lot of things he's just like super savvy on.
Okay.
Like you didn't even know.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like after I've
Stiff in this cold weather, but I can't blame it all on the neck.
Well, what they did is
Because we don't have it. We don't have it up here. They moved out.
They told it to us.
And so I called and said, so that's kind of a.
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
How do we know?
OHC. OHC moved out unexpectedly December 21st.
Keep it off the sidewalks.